Good day, viewers. Lawyers Alert is out this day with a topic of discussion. And what are we talking about today? It is understanding the rudiments of case reporting in Lawyers Alert. We have, in the time past, spoken on related subjects or subjects that has to do with how beneficiaries come to report cases to Lawyers Alert. But today, we are bringing a different dimension to it. And by that, we mean that we want to let you, members of the public, understand what is expected of you when you approach Lawyers Alert to report one case or the other to us. And so, in that direction, we are going to also talk about what kind of behavior is expected of anyone that has come to report a case to us, for us to be able to serve you better. Because the better we do it, then the smoother we make it for Lawyers Alert or for us to be able to assist you and assist you well. So what am I going to talk about first today? It is that when you are approaching Lawyers Alert for any service, one thing that we must bear in mind for us is to be honest about the way we present our facts. In fact, there is this saying that you can lie to everyone, but you cannot lie to either your doctor or your lawyer. And so, as an organization that render legal services to beneficiaries, when you are approaching us, make up your mind to come with nothing but the facts. Because a lot of beneficiaries have approached us all in the name of trying to please us, all in the name of trying to win the case with us. They try to tell us things that only favor them, but then not knowing that you are not helping yourself or helping your case by really concealing some of the facts of this case and just telling us what will please us or what you think will be favorable to you. You are not helping yourself in that case. I can give you instances of when beneficiaries have approached us in Lawyers Alert and have told us things that in the beginning have made us to decide one way or the other, only to realize, in fact, in the course of those cases, that what we have had from the beginning were not the real facts. In fact, we are not ghosts, we are not spirits. I'm very sure you viewers know this. And so, whatever decision we take, whatever guide we give to you, whatever we decide to do in relation to your case, will depend largely and solely on the things that you tell us. And so, if we are aware of the facts, if we have the facts at the back of our mind, it will enable us to be able to advise and give you our pieces of advice very clearly and or to the point. Those things that will basically help you, those things that will basically help your case are the things you are going to get from us. But the moment we are acting on wrong information, definitely the output of that, whatever comes from or whatever we have processed to give us the information that is making us to take a decision, will never give rise to good decisions. And so it is important as a beneficiary, as a potential beneficiary, that the moment you are approaching Lawyers Alert, then be prepared to tell us nothing but the truth. So the better you tell us the truth, or the more you tell us the truth, the better for us. So that is the first important thing that we must bear in mind. That as I'm approaching this organization, I am telling them the truth and nothing but the truth. Then the second important point I consider or worth discussing this day is that a potential beneficiary must make up his or her mind as to what he or she wants. Now, a lot of people approach us even without knowing what they want in the first place. Now, you are the one at the center of the issues you have come to report to us. You are the one who has one way suffered, whatever you have come to report to us, you are the one that are aware that is at the center of the issues you have come to lay bare before us. And so, before you approach us at all, you must make up your mind as to what you want. Honestly, we are not doing ourselves any good, neither are we doing or the organization any help by not taking a position even before approaching the organization. As a lawyer and as somebody that has worked in this sector and in this field for so long, for some time now, I have discovered from experience that a lot of potential beneficiaries approach the organization half-heartedly about the issues they are going to complain about. Somebody has not made up his mind and yet is approaching for help. And so, examples of this are abound with us. Some beneficiaries will approach after telling you the whole of the stories. You come to ask them, what do you want? Honestly, a lot of these ones will not be able to tell you what they categorically want, or what they want the organization, or what they are seeking help over. So, if you don't know what you are seeking help over, it then means you are not prepared in the first place to seek this help. Because you must be able to tell us what you want. It is when we know this, it is possible that in the course of really analyzing and beginning to give you advice, we may tell you what is better for you and ways that you can even amend or that which you have come with. But then, you must be able to tell us from the onset what you really want out of the reporting that you have come to do. That is very, very important. And when this happens, honestly, you are putting us in a position, or you are putting us at that vantage position where we can offer the so much sought help that you need from us. So that is very, very important. And it is also essential to have confidence in us. Honestly, there is nothing that can take the place of this particular point. Now, for you to decide that you are approaching Lawyers Alert for assistance, it then means you have decided, you have concluded that those I am going to meet in Lawyers Alert are professionals who have been trained to be able to render the kind of assistance that I desire and that I look for. And so, this is important and we must bear in mind at all times. It is the confidence in us that will make you believe and have trust in whatever advice we give to you at the end of the day. Because as professionals, we don't just jump into conclusions. We just jump into or giving advice over issues that you have presented before us. One, we listen to you attentively, we listen to you and we feel your pulse. And most times, there is no way we can even take any decision or arrive at anything without listening to other parties that are involved in the case we have come to report. I am very sure a lot of our beneficiaries that are listening to me right now, we know that what we do immediately anyone comes to make any report, is to try to invite all the other individuals that are in one way or the other related or touched or concerned with the issues you have come to lay bare before us. And so we don't take any step until we listen to all sides. It is when we do this, we are able to listen to all sides, that we have full information, that we have the full benefit to actually be able to take good decisions and advise you appropriately. So they say it defeats the sense of equity to listen to one side and take a decision. And so, what am I saying? You must have confidence in the individuals, in the professionals that work in this organization to deliver these goods, to deliver this assistance to you. When you don't have confidence in us, there are things you will say that may not be in line may not be necessarily be in agreement with that which you have conceived even before approaching the organization for assistance. A lot of times, even when people have made up their mind, they approach, and after listening to everything, you tell them this is the way it should go. This is better than what you are suggesting. A lot of people go back not being happy, simply because they think that which they have preconceived in their mind, that preconception they have in their mind, is better than that which they have received. And to me, this clearly demonstrates lack of confidence in the ones you have approached for assistance. And so these individuals are not just here, they have been trained to deal with these issues that we bring before them from time to time. And so each time a professional sits before you to listen to you, honestly, is not just listening to the story, is looking at all sides to it, and is considering all available options to actually deal with such issues. That is important. And another thing is that there is the need for feedback. Honestly, in discussing this particular one, I talk out of experience. Now, sometimes beneficiaries and potential beneficiaries, we approach for assistance. And at a point, you give them time to go and do so and so. At a point, that beneficiary will blank out. That beneficiary will refuse to even feed you back on developments. Time abound, where people who approach, you will listen to them. You have started on their case. You tell them, go back and do so and so, and let's see what the result will be. And such individuals will fail to get back to you with feedback. This is important. When you feed us back, it enables us to know which direction to beam our searchlight. Sometimes there are options before us, and we try them one after the other before arriving at which one is best. Because as a lot of us are aware, we do not just approach court and rush to court each time cases are reported. In fact, in most cases, we embark on alternative dispute resolution. We try settlement option because we always look at that as the best option in the way of settling disputes. And so we go about this, we call whoever is concerned, we invite whoever the report is made against, we listen to all parties, we palliate, we tell them the options that are open to them, we tell them what may be the likely or result of the options that have been laid there before us. We advise them and we tell them why we are coming with such pieces of advice. Those are the things we do in the way of trying to settle issues amicably. And so, in the midst of doing this, feedback is important, especially when we are still in the process of getting to understand a particular issue that have been brought before us very clearly before we begin to take positions. And so, it is important for us to deal with to take the issue of feedback very seriously. If there's need to call us back and tell us, this is what I experienced, this is what I have confronted so and so with what you have asked me to do, this is the result of it, this is what I have been able to get from it. It is important that you feed us back on this from time to time, depending on the agreement we have reached and depending on the things we have arrived at, things we have suggested to you, things we have all agreed we are going to do. I mean, in order for us to get to the bottom of whatever case that you have come to report. So that is very, very important. When these feedbacks are not there, then we are left in the dark as to all the circumstances of the case you have reported. Just as I've said before, professionals here are not ghosts. Professionals here are not spirits. They work on the facts that are before them. We work on the facts that we have at our disposal. And since we are not witnesses to these or cases, we rely heavily on the things you have come to tell us. We rely heavily on the feedbacks that you have been able to give us, even while we go about trying to resolve the issues that have been reported to us. So we cannot overemphasize the usefulness of feedback. And then I will move to the last one, which is patience and follow-up. That is also very, very important. When a lot of us come to report cases, we are so much in a hurry to get to the end of such issues. Now, we can imagine some of these issues are not issues that have just spanned over a period of 1 month. Sometimes there are issues that have happened even over periods of 5 years, if not more. And so, it needs time. Especially that some of the processes that we involve, that we try to engage as we go about rendering these services to you, and not even within our total authority and total determination. We see that we just have to be patient sometimes. I give an example. Now, after looking at a case, for example, if we have decided we are going to approach the court, we do know that as professionals here, we don't have total control over what happens in the court. We don't have total control as to the length of time that these cases are going to take in the court. I'm just giving an example. And so because of that, we will need to be patient. We will need to know that the whole of the process, we have to take a natural course. Even though we try everything we can do within our capacity not to see any delays that are associated with what we do, or any delays that will come from our end. We try everything we can do within our capacity to eliminate such. But then, what about delays, for example, that will come from other stakeholders? All this we never have, and we do not have any control over. And so, this will require, in great deal, that we exercise a lot of patience. And apart from that, you help professionals in this organization by doing a lot of follow-up to the cases you come to report to us. We take clients from time to time, even though as lawyers, we have our diaries. As lawyers, we keep to these diaries. As lawyers, we maintain, and we are so passionate about the things we put down in these diaries. It is important, for example, if your case is coming up, 2 days to put a call through to your lawyer, the one in charge of your case, to remind the person that I've just called to remind you that my case is coming up 2 days from now. It is important. It is not as if the likelihood of the person forgetting is there, but then it boosts, it serves as motivation to whoever is handling that case. It shows that you have a lot of interest in your case. It shows that that case is important to you. And honestly, as the saying goes, nobody can cry more than the bereaved. If you take your case so important, then it will rub off on the lawyer that is handling that case, on the professional that is dealing with that case. So it is important that you do follow up. From time to time, it is important to call whoever is on your case to say, you promised you were going to do so and so. I just called to remind you and to know whether you have remembered to do so and so. That is also important. Honestly, it's a whole lot of motivation when we do that. Not just to that individual that is in charge of your case, but even to the whole organization, to the organization as a whole. And from time to time, release information, new developments, updates about cases and issues that we handle for you. Release them and let us know a lot of this. Remember, what we do in Lawyers Alert is to render pro bono services, free legal services. It is important. Even though, in our climb, the likelihood of people not taking seriously that which they have not paid for is so high. So, because the kind of services we render are free of charge to beneficiaries, the likelihood of being nonchalant about these cases are so high. And because that likelihood is so high, we are remembering you, our beneficiary and potential beneficiaries, that it is important that you take your case seriously. You take your matter seriously. And that again is in one way or the other related to the first point, and that is make up your mind. If you have made up your mind, I am going to follow this case tenaciously to the end, then don't, in the midst of, without any reason, back down. Because I've seen situations where we have expended so much resources, both financial, human, and every resource you can think about, on a particular case, only to get to the middle of it and the person backs down. Even when you have not seen any development that calls for that. That is still part of not making one's mind. And that is why we have made it a practice to always ask and ask, to be very sure that, are you sure you are really interested in this case? Are you sure you really want to see this case to the end? Especially when a case gets to the point of going to be adjudicated upon in court. We know this can be time consuming. We know this can take time. We know this can cost you a lot of your time. Even though it may not cost you resources on our own side as to the services we render, it can cost you resources on your own little way. And so, when all this is beginning to rub off, the question is, are we not going to back down? That is important. To be reminded again, Lawyers Alert renders pro bono services. We render free services to everyone that has approached us. And that still remains, and for as long as I can envisage, it will still remain. And we give thanks to donors all over the world and people who have contributed their time and energy to the things that we do. Thank you very much, and we meet again.